Hey boos, in this video I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. Oh, hell no.
Hi guys, it's Yoni and I'm back with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Dani Leigh, Mimi, and of course, Dababy. So what we are seeing here is a narc love triangle. So we're seeing Dababy, who is a narcissist, who has this triangle love affair between Dani Leigh, himself, and Mimi. So we see this a lot. Like if you have ever been in a love triangle, in some cases it could have been with a narc. So I wanted to talk about that today because that is what we're seeing play out on social media, and this is a great example, and I wanted to use this example to help you out with your personal life and your dating life, because the number one thing when it comes to dating, you don't want to be in a love triangle, you don't want to be in a third party type situation, and you don't want to be strung along and breadcrumbed. And that's what we're seeing with both of these ladies. Neither of these ladies are winning, and to be honest, it's hard to watch seeing these women battle it out on Instagram. But to be honest, only one is really fighting for Dababy's attention, and we have to highlight Dani Leigh. Now there are so many layers when it comes to Dani Leigh, so I just wanted to start off by showing you where all of this started and where this whole situation originated from. I've been following this for some time now, almost a year now if I'm being completely honest, with this whole narc love triangle. So I wanted to start with Dani Leigh. Dani Leigh over the weekend posted a tweet with a very interesting caption, and it was very obvious that she had a very bronzed tan, and she also had a very interesting looking wig, which indicated that she was clearly trying to embody this light-skinned Yellowbone Instagram baddie. So I wanted to post the tweet with the caption, and then also I want to show you where all of this originated from, where the beef with Mimi and Dani Leigh originated from. So first up, I want to talk about the text messages that Mimi decided to expose to social media.
No, because I'm gonna show all your fans that you were police, that you policing your child's mother.
Yep.
Why would I police? When have I ever policed you on anything? Have I ever?
Then we have Dani over here. Mimi decided to go on her Instagram or Twitter or whatever to expose Dani Leigh about how Dababy has her saved in his phone under Hollywood, and how he shares the text messages with Mimi.
And then Mimi posts not a screenshot, but she posts a picture of her holding Dababy's phone in Dababy's thread with Dani Leigh. Okay, so this is their texting thread that she's showing a physical picture of, and Dababy has Dani Leigh saved as Hollywood. Okay, so I hope you can follow that. On the left side of the phone is Dani Leigh texting Dababy, and the blue is Dababy texting back. And so in these receipts, in the first one, Dani is sending Dababy a screenshot of where the Shade Room posted one of their Baywatches, and it shows Dababy and Mimi together with their child, all color coordinated, looking like a happy family. And so Dani says, "I look like an idiot. Congrats, man. What the F?" And then Dababy says, "LOL, that internet hold big weight, don't it?" To which she says, "SMH." He says, "Okay, I'ma accept your congrats." She says, "You think I'm a weak AB, huh?" And he says, "You got it. I'ma let you be fooled." And then Mimi posts another picture from their texting thread, again from when Dani texted Dababy on January 7th of this year. And what Dani had texted the baby was a screenshot of Mimi's tweet that said, "Ready to get my hands on my baby." Of course, she's talking about the baby. And then Dani says, "You want me to fall back and see, and this is what I see." And then she does the heartbroken emoji. "I hope y'all can just work out. It hurts when I was really for you." So like I said, Dani was really into her boo, aka the baby, but it kind of looks like he wasn't as much into her.
You have two women that are literally being played against each other, and they are literally making each other the enemy. Now, Mimi really wasn't trying to directly come for Dani Leigh. She was really trying to expose the baby because he was manipulating her, lying to her, and playing mind games with her and gaslighting her. A typical narcissistic man. And the reason why she exposed the baby was because there was another woman that was pregnant by the baby at the time. And so not only did he have another woman pregnant, but he was also in a relationship with Mimi at the time, and he was also entertaining Dani Leigh on the side. And so she exposed everything, including text messages that were shared between the baby and Dani. And when she did that, that is where the beef all started. But in all reality, we're also seeing a narcissistic man play two women against each other, and it's really sad to watch. It's really sad to see.
I've been asked quite a few times to speak on narcissists, or guys who suffer from narcissistic personality disorder, which is something you have to be diagnosed with by a psychiatrist. However, these guys tend to not think anything's wrong with them enough in order to get diagnosed, and for the few who do, they've already done quite a bit of damage on the women who have tried to love them. So as a woman, it's in your best interest to know what symptoms to look for, because regardless of a diagnosis, those symptoms can still have long-term negative effects on you. Now, contrary to the stereotype, it's not just a self-absorbed, conceited guy who posts a lot of selfies, licks his eyebrows, and fishes for compliments all day. Like, that's one part of it. But the single most defining characteristic of a narcissistic man is a guy who thinks the world revolves around him and nobody else's feelings matter. Like, on the dating scene, this can be the guy who ghosts you or wants you to chase him and put in all the work and prove why you're worthy of a phone call or an invitation for a real date. But the most dangerous narcissists are those guys who up front are knights in white shiny armor. I mean, they're becoming, they're enthusiastic and charismatic, fun to be around. The things that they want out of life in a relationship are all very becoming. But once they get into a relationship, a few months or maybe even a year in, they do a 180 into a complete monster. I mean, they treat you borderline, if not outright evil. They're malicious. They neglect you. They disrespect you. The way they talk to you and treat you is nothing like the guy that you first met. The most dangerous part of all of this is that women tend to blame themselves for this shift in behavior, when really all the charming things that he did up front, it was never rooted in his character. It was just to emotionally hook you so that he could mentally have that authority to control and manipulate you later so that you could supply his narcissism. So say you two get in an argument, or maybe not an argument, you just bring one of your concerns to his attention. It doesn't matter how carefully or tactfully you word that concern. It doesn't matter how patient you are to wait for the right time and place to talk about it. Not only does he deny any accountability, he turns it back around on you so that you're at fault. Somehow you're to blame. And not just for that particular situation, but for everything. Systematically, he attacks you on a mental level so that you question your judgment and the way that you perceive reality. Like, for example, if you say to him, it really makes me uncomfortable the way that you flirt with other women. It makes me feel like you have no regard for me nor our relationship. He'll say something like, am I flirting with other women, or is this just something else that you've made up in your head? Something else that you're imagining? You've ruined every other relationship just like that. And you're about to ruin this one by making things up out of thin air and then attacking me. That's the narcissist. Or if he says something like, only reason why I flirt with other women is because you don't show me enough attention. You're always spending time with your friends or at work or at the gym. You don't show me enough attention. That's why I flirt. I wouldn't have to if it wasn't for you. This is your fault. That's a narcissist. You see, by constantly doing that, he's able to lower your self-esteem to a point that makes you more susceptible for future mistreatment. Not only that, he subconsciously teaches you that you're lucky to be with him because no other man could possibly want you in all the ways that you are destined to ruin a relationship. Now, another thing that a narcissist will do is try to isolate you from everything or every person that you are currently influenced by or that you go to for comfort. Because if he can isolate you, then he can increase your dependency on him. And if he can do that, then he can increase his control over you and the amount of fear that you have that he'll one day leave you, which also gives him power to make you do things to keep him from doing that, although nothing will. Now, a lot of guys are uncomfortable with their woman dealing with other guys on a close level, but to a narcissist, he don't care if it's male or female. If he notices a close relationship that you have that's adding value to your life, he's going to find a way to throw shade on it, whether it's blatant or whether it's subtle. You know, if you have a close homegirl that you're really close to and she hasn't expressed any discontent with him, hasn't done anything wrong with him or had any argument with him, he'll still say things like, you know what? Deep down, she's jealous of you. She's trying to use you. I'm the only one that you can trust. I'm the only one who loves you for you. She just wants something from you. Or he'll say something like, I don't like the way that she carries herself, the way that she's always going out. Is she starting to rub off on you? And the more that she rubs off on you, the more that you hang with her, the more that you're pushing me away. So at some point, you're going to have to make a choice. That's a narcissist. Another thing that lets you know that a man is a narcissist is if he treats you like he hates you but needs you at the same time. I was about to say love, but not love. He just doesn't want you to leave. Like, he walks all over you. He neglects you. He doesn't care if you're begging, pleading, crying, if you're upset, if you're depressed. He's completely apathetic until you walk out of that door. Then he does things to pull you back. Like, he doesn't want to treat you right, but he doesn't want anybody else to have an opportunity to treat you right either. Because the more that you squirm, the more that you're hurt, the more that you're begging and pleading with him to act right or try to get things right or doing things to try and fix the relationship, the more that you feed his narcissistic supply. And the moment that you get ready to leave is the moment you get ready to take that supply away. Now, the lengths that a narcissist will go through in order to keep you from leaving or to get you back after you've already left, they're limitless. He may use fear. He may use guilt trips and control. He may blow up your mama phone, drive by your house. He may show you flashes of the person he originally presented himself as in the beginning. He may buy you nice things, whatever will work to get you back into that cycle so that the damage this time can be even worse so he can have even more control. The only way he'll be okay with losing you or leaving you is if he's found another victim to take your place. At that point, it doesn't matter how low you're willing to stoop, nothing is going to make him care about the fact that you're willing to leave. And by that point, you'll likely have already caused quite a bit of damage to your reputation, ruined relationships in an effort to get him to care. And that's why every woman needs to be aware of the symptoms of narcissism. But just as important as it is to know whether or not you're currently dealing with a narcissist is knowing whether or not you've ever tried to love one. Because if so, then your healing process is going to be different from the average woman who's dealing with disappointment from dating a guy that she had high hopes for, but it didn't work out. You would have to restructure the way that you see men in general, and most importantly, the way that you see yourself, because both of those viewpoints were damaged within that relationship. The main way to tell that you dated one is if you find yourself after the relationship questioning what it is that you did to cause him to treat you so badly. I'm not talking about faults of yours that you can improve on to be a better wife or girlfriend or relationship partner going forward. But if you try to pinpoint what action of yours caused actions of his that were irrefutably wrong, deplorable, things that you never would have tolerated before meeting him, then you've dated a narcissist. Because that train of thought is implemented by a narcissist on his victim so he doesn't have to take accountability for his actions, because she does. Now, I'm not saying that you're a lost cause if you've ever been in that situation, because you're not, but you do have work to do. And if you're currently in it, then you have distance to create, because there is no making it work curing a man of his narcissism. And any effort to do so is only going to leave you sick.
And then not only that, we're seeing a woman who for some reason feels so comfortable releasing a song titled Yellowbone to take shots at Mimi. And a lot of people within the Black community had an issue with this because this is a Latina woman who is claiming to be Black when she's not. But then not only that, she is also being a colorist.
What's the difference between Hispanic and Latino? So I'm gonna enlist some help from my friend, Kat Lasso.
Thanks for having me, Francesca. So it may get a little confusing if this is your first time hearing this, so I'll try to keep it as simple as I can. Hispanic refers to people of Spanish-speaking origin. It means you have a family history in a Spanish-speaking country. This means you have origins in these countries, including Spain. But notice how Brazil isn't included on the map? Well, that's because they don't primarily speak Spanish. They speak Portuguese. Which brings us to Latino, or Latinx if you want to be gender inclusive, which you should be. Latinx refers to having origins in Latin America, which is basically the countries in North and South America that are geographically south of the United States, including most of the Caribbean. And unlike Hispanic, Latinx excludes much of Latin America's colonizer, Spain. So, one more time, Hispanic refers to language, and Latinx focuses on geographic location. But whichever term you use, neither of them actually refer to racial identity. Just like America, Latin America has a long and complex history that intersects between Native people, European colonization, African slavery, and global immigration patterns. Which is why there are white Latinos, Native Latinos, Black Latinos, Asian Latinos, and every kind of mixture that you can think of. Does that help?
Yeah, that does help. But I think part of the problem we're dealing with here is the broader confusion between ethnicity and race. As we've covered, race is not biologically real. It's basically an ever-shifting categorization that sometimes includes ethnicity and sometimes doesn't. But when it comes to ethnicity, there are legitimate differences between groups of people that aren't based on external characteristics. And yes, ethnicity can get fuzzy, but there are cultural practices you can associate with it, like language, cultural values, and traditions. Which is why if an Argentinian couple adopts a baby from China, that baby will most likely grow up speaking Spanish and rooting for Lionel Messi. The simple answer? Race doesn't exist, but ethnicity does.
So a lot of people had an issue with that, but I couldn't help but notice majority of the issue really came from the black community and her just simply not being black. It wasn't because she was being disrespectful to a black woman. It was mainly because people were upset at the fact that she was claiming to be a yellow-boned black woman when in fact she is a Latina. So I wanted to talk about this today. Whenever we see a narc, we see a narcissistic man who plays women against each other so that he can feed his ego. To have two women fight over a man feeds a man's ego, and it especially feeds a narcissistic man in ways that will boost him to believe he's the hottest thing walking. Narcissistic men love this. Narcissistic men love love triangles. They love putting women in third-party situations because it really feeds into their ego and it boosts their ego. Not only did Dani Leigh post a subliminal song titled Yellowbone, she also recently posted over the weekend another subliminal message to Mimi with an interesting tweet and caption, which a lot of people online were dragging her for. So a lot of people predict that maybe she's taking shots at Mimi, and some people are saying, well, maybe she's talking about somebody new. But if you have been following this from the beginning, Dani Leigh has shown patterns of the fact that she always runs back to Dababy'S. So another point that I want to make is the fact that Dani Leigh, when Mimi broke up with Dababy, she broke up with him. Dani Leigh decided to make the announcement on social media that her and Dababy were official, and she plastered it all over social media, once again taking subliminal shots at Mimi by being disrespectful. And so another thing that I want to point out is that Mimi, I'm not going to say she hasn't done petty things, but she could definitely do a lot more damage in my opinion, because we know the truth when it comes to being the mother of a man's child. There are perks that come with that, and this is the main reason why I refuse to date a man with a child, because there are perks that come with sharing a baby with a man. Even when you're just the new girl that is simply dating this man, there are perks that the mother of his child will get over you automatically. That is what we're also seeing with this situation. So during this time, Dani Leigh was deep in her ego and she wanted to show Mimi up. So she plastered their relationship all over social media, made the announcement, made it official, and she really felt like she was hot stuff. She really felt like she was able to one up Mimi, and she really felt good about herself at the time.
All your designer looking dingy. Hell nah, yeah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Say to my Dominican mommy. And you gotta take a shot. Man, freshman. Yeah, it is. Hold on. Come back down to the ice. Okay. It's about details. Okay, it's about details in that bitch. Okay. Yeah, think it ain't on them. Mr. Think it ain't on me, bitch. Yeah, talk your on them. Go in on them. Yeah, yeah. Forces, bitch. Yeah, them baby names, bitch. Forces, bitch. Them baby names, bitch. 09 in this bitch. You're holding them on. Keep them on the whole time. Ain't gonna take them off.
I'm saying? I'm about to go drink some champagne with my man.
In reality, Mimi knew that she still had some type of hold on Dababy, and Dani Leigh felt like that was non-existent, which to me was just flat out being naive in my opinion. But Mimi knew that she could always go back to him if she wanted. It was always an option for her because she was the one that cut things off with Dababy. So after this entire situation, Dani Leigh felt like it just wasn't enough. She felt like she really needed to get back at Mimi. Now, there may have been some things that went down behind the scenes off social media, so Dani Leigh decided to get in the studio and make a song titled Yellowbone. And with this song, she was taking shots at Mimi. Yellowbone is what he wants. Literally, those are the lyrics. So if you take the tweet, you take the lyrics to this song, you can tell she is definitely taking shots at Mimi. And the thing that really annoys me is that people want to play dumb, people want to be naive, and people just want to give her the benefit of the doubt because she's famous. This woman is a colorist and she's being disrespectful to a black woman. And instead of the black community defending Mimi, they had to defend the colorism within the community by saying, oh, Dani Leigh, oh, she's not black, she's a Latina, and she doesn't have the right to say that she's a Yellowbone. But in reality, this is a Latina who decided to disrespect a black woman, and instead of taking up for a black woman, people had to defend the toxicity of colorism within the black community. And that's something that I didn't like when it comes to this entire situation. Like, everyone wants to make the focus about how she's not black, when in reality, she's been disrespecting this black woman this entire time.
I'm not commenting on nothing of that matter. I'm not saying nothing. I'm a very low-key person, and I, unlike a lot of people, I like to keep my business to myself. So I'm sorry, and if y'all find out whatever y'all find out through other sources, but you won't hear it from my mouth. My business is my business. Okay, honey? Okay. You know what I'm saying? I ain't messy. I don't be looking for no type of attention when it comes to that type of shit. I like to keep my shit, you know, on the raps, and the only thing I want to promote is my music, and that is it.
Another thing that I couldn't help but notice was the major shift that took place among the black community. How now everyone keeps saying, oh, we need to stop bullying Dani Leigh, because now she wants to play the victim, as if she didn't start all of this, as if she hasn't been egging this on, as if she hasn't been poking the bear with Mimi this entire time. And it's something that's really annoying me, because it's just like, how are you giving someone the benefit of the doubt when they literally started all of this, and she's literally been bullying Mimi for months? But the black community seems to ignore that because, of course, she's a brown-skinned woman. She's a brown-skinned girl. And so a lot of times brown-skinned women and dark-skinned women are dismissed when it comes to disrespect. And a lot of times brown-skinned women and dark-skinned women get the shortest end of the stick within the black community. And I'm sick of it. It's something that I keep seeing. It's a pattern that I keep seeing in media. It's a pattern that I keep seeing within the black community. And it's something that really annoys me because it's really unfair. And so another thing that I wanted to point out within this Narc love triangle is the fact that Dababy has been influencing Dani Leigh with these colorist antics that she has been putting on. And another thing that I wanted to point out is the fact that every time Dani is trying to get Dababy's attention, whether it's being thirsty or desperate, she always tries to embody this Instagram baddie light-skinned chick on Instagram or social media. And it's a constant pattern that I keep seeing over and over and over again. And for some reason, Dani feels so entitled. She feels so entitled because she's a lighter complected woman while disrespecting a black woman while not being black. And that's the issue that I have with this entire situation. And then in the middle of everything that's taking place, we're seeing a narcissistic black man sit and enjoy all of this attention that he's getting over these women fighting over him and playing them against each other. We see this a lot within the dating scene, within the black community. We see this a lot among light-skinned women and dark-skinned women, light-skinned women and brown-skinned women. We see this a lot with Latinas and black women. We see the beef a lot, and I'm just really, really sick of it. And another thing is we see Stefan, who is a rapper or singer, ex-colorist, wanting to defend Dani Leigh. Of course she does, because she doesn't understand how disrespectful Dani is really being towards Mimi, a brown-skinned woman. And we're just gonna dismiss Mimi altogether, and I'm sick of seeing this among the black community. This Latina who is not black is disrespecting a black woman, but the only thing you guys really care about within the black community, and this is why I don't believe in pro-blackness, because we're not pro anything. We're pro toxicity, in my opinion, within the black community. So, and that's another video for another day. But what we're seeing is we're taking more pride in colorism than protecting a black woman, and that's the issue that I have. The only reason why people were upset about Yellowbone was because Dani is not black. That's the only reason why we saw an outrage with Yellowbone. But now that she's back to posting these subliminal messages to Mimi, which is highly disrespectful, and she was also able to get away with this Yellowbone song that was actually very disrespectful to Mimi, and it was very colorist. The reason why she was able to get away with it was because she decided to play the victim, and she's playing the victim yet again. She's not getting a pass with me. Dani Leigh is canceled indefinitely with me. If you support this girl, I don't know what to tell you. She doesn't have any recollection of self-worth. She's desperate. She's thirsty over a toxic man, regardless of the fact that he's black. He's toxic, and it's just like, what do you want to get out of the situation? This is a man that had a baby with another woman, but you're beefing with his baby mama. Why? I just don't understand. You're a single woman, you have a bomb career, or you could have a bomb career, but you're willing to tank it over a man that don't want you. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I just wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on this entire situation. And I really feel like when it comes to the black community, we defend toxicity. We're not defending a black woman when it comes to this Dani Leigh situation. And then you want to defend her because she's playing the victim while being a lighter complected woman, but you didn't have the same energy when the tables were reversed. And when it comes to me, this is real talk with Yoni. We keep the same energy over here. So I saw how she was bullying Mimi. I decided to hold off on a video, and so here I am now, because now she has done it again. I like to follow patterns when it comes to these situations. If they do it 1, 2, 3, I'm on it. But if it's like 1, 2, okay, you make a mistake one time, okay, you may slip up again, but then when you do it a third time, you're not apologetic, because if you were, change behavior follows, and Dani Leigh refuses to change her behavior. So I'm done giving her slack. I'm done giving her the benefit of the doubt. She's a colorist and she needs to be canceled. Point blank, period. If you're going to defend her now after she is continuously disrespecting a black woman, I have an issue with you as well. So that's all that I have regarding this video. I would love your thoughts and opinions, so make sure you comment them down below. And if you're new here, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you're notified for when I upload. This is Real with Yoni, and I will see you guys in my next video.